Thank you for joining us for the third Copenhagen Democracy Summit. Today we unite virtually due to the pandemic. But while the format of our meeting has changed, the purpose is the same: to strengthen the backbone of global democracy. This week, in 1858, Abraham Lincoln warned us that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Likewise, democratic nations divided against themselves cannot stand either. Which is why we are here today to unite our democracies and rebuild the foundations of our house of democracy. You are joining with guests from over 50 different nationalities. I welcome all of you. Democracy is about dialogue and often fierce discussion. So, I invite you to raise your voice by submitting comments, tweets and posts to our speakers today. Ladies and gentlemen, as democracy defenders, we could be forgiven for pessimism. As someone who dedicated my life to the cause of freedom and democracy, I too can be disheartened when I watch the news. Indeed, it can seem like autocracies are winning the fight, as we fail to confront their transgressions and aggressions. The Western world is suffering from debilitating self-doubt, a phenomenon where healthy self-criticism has morphed into unhealthy self-loathing about our values. But, ladies and gentlemen, the darkest moment comes before the dawn, and I believe there is cause for real optimism as we meet today. Civil society is in the midst of a renaissance. In democracies and autocracies alike, people are taking a stand for freedom. Joshua Wong from Hong Kong spoke powerfully yesterday about this fight. I urge you to watch his session. In recent weeks, hundreds of thousands of citizens have taken to our streets, demanding police reform and an end to systemic racism. Yes, there were some shameful spoilers and looters, but the peaceful majority made their voices heard. Later today, we will present the 2020 Democracy Perception Index, a survey of 124,000 people across 53 countries. I invite you to read the study on our website. But I have taken one main conclusion from it. People are not tired of democracy. Quite the opposite. They want more democracy. To see the stark contrast between the benefits of democracy and the pitfalls of dictatorship, we need look no further than the Taiwan Strait. On one side, a democracy, Taiwan. It acted swiftly to alert the world on the new coronavirus and build transparent systems and processes to contain it. The result? Fewer than 500 cases and 7 deaths for a population of 23 million. On the other side of the strait, a dictatorship that covered up its embarrassment and spread lies around the world, that used the cover of COVID to rip up its obligations to Hong Kong, and that abused the multilateral system by again denying Taiwan's entry to the World Health Assembly. Friends, we know the challenges that we face. But our job today is not to wring our hands and lament the decline of democracy. Our job is to roll up our sleeves and join the barricades. With our work, we can lead a path to the sunlit uplands, because there is no stronger force on this earth than the human desire for individual liberty. Freedom is the driver of progress, peace, and prosperity in our world. Free speech defends our freedom and speaks truth to power. The free market creates wealth, entrepreneurs, and opportunities. Free trade empowers consumers, lowers prices, and increases choice. And it lifts poorer countries out of poverty. Freedom of speech, trade, commerce, and mobility create peace and progress for the entire world. We should never be apologists for the freedom that we have created. And thanks to more political freedom and more market economy, the world has achieved enormous progress during the last 30 years. The percentage of the global population living in extreme poverty has been reduced from 36% in 1990 to 10% today. Fewer people die of starvation. The number of people starving has been reduced by more than 200 million during the last 30 years. Life expectancy has risen, child mortality has decreased, and thanks to technological progress, we can communicate with each other much more than before. We must not allow the coronavirus to throw all this overboard. On the contrary, we should strengthen the spine of democracies. We should demand more freedom. Rising to this challenge demands a new world order. The time has come to build a global alliance of democracies. An alliance of democracies that will increase cooperation, trade, and interactions between countries with similar values. Already, there are positive signs that the democracies are less naive to the challenges we face. The British have proposed the D10, a group of leading democracies to complement the G7 with India, South Korea, and Australia. It is an idea I have supported for several years. The West has begun to learn that interacting with China does not require subjugation to the bully boy tactics of a communist dictatorship. In Europe, work has begun to strengthen our defenses against Chinese strategic investment, Beijing's weapon of choice in creating economic dependencies that it can exploit. On the internet, we are taking measures to prevent autocrats from using our free and open societies against us by disseminating divisive fake news and disinformation. As we bounce back from COVID-19, governments should ask how they can return more freedom than they have borrowed. A freedom dividend. And leaders should also follow in the footsteps of visionaries like the American President Truman and take bold steps to build a new world order that will contain the autocrats and spur democratic forces into action. Because, my friends, there is only one antidote to autocrats, only one vaccine against tyranny, and that is freedom. Today, we make our contribution to defending democracy. I wish you an interesting day of debate, because after today, there is much work to do to halt the advance of autocracies, to end the era of democratic self-doubt, and to build an alliance of democracies that will defend democracy, sustain peace, and spread prosperity for another 75 years to come. Thank you for joining us.